I'm starting to record now. And let me go through the mission statement. Helping Parents Heal is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting bereaved parents to become shining light parents by providing support and resources to aid in the healing process. We go a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and evidence for the afterlife in a non-dogmatic way. Affiliate groups welcome everyone regardless of religion or non-religion and allow for open dialogue. Attendance today at the Helping Parents Heal meeting is voluntary, and we are here for the benefit of learning from and sharing with other parents whose child has passed away. It is understood that our discussions are intended to be confidential and not designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. And then I'd like to just go through Paul's bio. I feel very honored myself because, as some of you know, I'm a yoga teacher, and actually I teach yoga for healing grief. And I teach many classes a week, and I feel very sad right now not to be teaching to all my wonderful students, but to be able to be in the presence of someone like Paul is a huge deal for me. Paul Denniston is the creator of Grief Yoga, which uses grief as fuel for healing and combines many forms of yoga and movement to help release sadness and anger and bring people to greater peace and happiness. Paul dedicated himself to studying grief with some of the top leaders on loss, including David Kessler, William Worden, and Bessel van der Kolk. Paul has taught the techniques and exercises of grief yoga to more than 6,000 therapists, counselors, and healthcare professionals to use with people in grief in the United States, England, and Australia. His stepson David passed in 2016, and his sister passed in 2017. To learn more about Paul, visit his website, www.griefyoga.com. And without further ado, I am really pleased to introduce Paul Denniston. And thanks so much for being here.
Want to mute everyone, Elizabeth?
Yes, I do, but
Okay.
I need to get back to the right screen here. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate that. I just want to say thank you for inviting me, and thank you for letting me come into this space, and I'm very touched to be here. I thought maybe I could share a little bit of how I came into this practice, talk a little bit about some of the losses that I've gone through within my life, and I would be happy to offer some techniques and show you a couple of different exercises that go within grief and loss too, that you're welcome to do, or if you want to just sit and observe, that's okay too. I was raised in Texas. I come from a small town about an hour south of Houston. My daddy was a minister. My mama was a Christian school teacher, and I was never really taught how to grieve. If anything, grief or anger were considered ungodly emotions at times. If I was feeling sad, they would say, hey, go pray about it, or avoid it completely and come into a place of action and do something about it. What I tended to do was I would isolate. I would kind of like hide away, almost like a turtle would go into like a shell. But I would also observe and see how my family would handle grief and loss. I saw how my mom, when my grandmother, her mother, was dying, she couldn't go and be there for her. I think it was almost as if it was like she was afraid to like look at death in the face. And she wasn't there for her mother when she passed. And I know that she felt regret throughout her whole life that she should have been there for her mother. I would witness my father, and I would see how he was a workaholic, but he would also bottle up a lot of anger and frustration. And I would see how it would simmer inside of him, almost like a teapot that was boiling and boiling. And I would see how it would explode sometimes, and it would, he would have this fit of like violence that would be very scary, and it would scare him, it would scare us. And so I kind of grew up thinking that grief and anger, especially like anger, they were just like, these are bad emotions, these are negative emotions. I was bullied as a kid, and so I would suppress that and until finally I couldn't take it anymore, and then all of a sudden I would lash out and I would hurt other people. I would just be like, anger is such a dangerous emotion. As I became older and I would feel the sadness but didn't necessarily know how to be with it, I would do everything that I could to try to avoid it. Drugs, alcohol, anything that I could to try to numb out the pain, and especially not really being able to allow myself to be with it or to show other people that type of vulnerability. So I spent decades trying to numb it out, and I was also like deeply looking for a place of peace and was not sure really how to find it. I went to a yoga class, and all of the unresolved sadness, anger, grief, anxiety that I had been trying to run away from all caught up to me in a little space of a yoga mat. And instead of running away from it, I decided to be with it. I decided to surrender to it. And I allowed myself to kind of flow with it. And I had this really powerful release in the class, which led me to a space of peace at the end. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is what I've been seeking. And I wanted to go further in that. And so as I became a teacher of yoga, one of the things that I loved within the practice was about creating intentions. Like sometimes they would say, what's your intention for class today? And I thought to myself as a teacher, I was like, what if I created an entire practice with the intention of how to move with grief, how to like let it channel out? And because I recognized from myself that if I hold on to these feelings, it gets stuck inside of me. It gets stuck in my mind, it gets stuck in my body, and how the body can hold on to and remember the pain and the trauma. And so what I was curious about was I was a movement teacher for actors at that time. And part of what my work was to help actors become more expressive, to take what was suppressed and move it through, and to also find deeper connections within others and within themselves. And so as I started to become a yoga teacher, as I was a yoga teacher, I started to learn many different forms of yoga, whether it was hatha or kundalini yoga, restorative yoga, laughter yoga, a modality called Let Your Yoga Dance, which embraces like chakra movement. And I thought, what if I created a movement ritual experience that took whatever the pain and the struggle that we normally would suppress within the mind and body, what if we actually embraced it and used it as fuel for healing, but with the intention to help to open ourselves up to more love, more grace, more gratitude. And so I was basically kind of like creating a class that I pretty much would want to embody and take. And I was learning from many grief and loss experts too, like where people stuck within grief and loss. And so I made like exercises and techniques that had intentions behind the exercises that would embody grief and loss or anger or anxiety or regrets, and take a movement that would be based on that particular thing. And it was also a strong intention of mine that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to create a practice that's about physical flexibility. I was like, I'm not trying to put them into a pretzel here. It was more about emotional liberation, about channeling the struggle out. During this time period, as I was putting all of this together and creating this, I was also dealing with a lot of deep loss myself. My sister at that time had also been diagnosed with advanced stage 4 cancer, and she was struggling with that. My dog of 16 to 17 years was slowly beginning to fade and to die. And also, my partner, his steps, David Kessler is my partner, just so you know. And so David Jr., which is my stepson, it became a big struggle because David Jr. struggled with addiction. And he was in such a turbulent time. So during this time period, my sister passed away. David Jr. Overdosed, and my dog passed away. Another dear friend of mine passed away. So many different losses that happened. And so I'm pretty much kind of like creating a practice here that honors their life, that takes something that would normally be quite scary for me, but to say that actually, you know, grief is actually okay because it's an expression of my love. The anger actually could be a powerful, transformative thing if channeled in the right way. So it's kind of a little bit about how I kind of created my practice too. Before I go into some of the exercises too, just to go a little bit into my mother too, she shared with one of the things that was so challenging for with my mom is that even when my sister, her daughter, was dying, she shared with me that when my sister was experiencing her final day, my sister looked at my mom in the face and she said, "Mom, I'm dying today." And my mom looked away and she said, she couldn't look at her. But after Ella passed, my sister, I could never see my mom cry. And I think that whenever I would try to address her grief or anything like that, I was like, "Mom," I'm like, "don't you ever feel sad about, you know," she's like, "Well, she's in heaven. Why would I need to be sad?" And I said, "But Mom, you can still be sad. She can be in heaven, but you can still be sad." And there was a moment where she said, you know, she goes, "I couldn't look at her in the face when she was dying. Am I wrong? Was that bad of me?" And I said, "No, Mom." I said, "It's okay." I said, it's your daughter." I said, "That was very hard." And in that space and allowing her to be, she started to cry. And for me as her son, it was so healing for me, but I think it was also healing for her to just say, it's okay to feel the sadness. So that's a little bit of my story. Yeah. How about if I do a couple of little techniques or exercises? Is that okay?
That would be wonderful, Paul. And I just want to say that they must be so proud of you, both your sister, David's son, David, as well as your mom. And this is just a beautiful thing to be able to create a practice based on helping other people overcome the grief that they're feeling. And I'm very excited. So yes, please lead us through some different movements.
Thank you. Let's just take a moment and just, if I may, let's just ground our breath for a moment here. I think that if we deepen our breath, it can quiet our mind. So if you're comfortable, maybe just take a moment here and observe the room that you're in and observe the space that you're in and just become aware of whether it's like as you look around, maybe you're drawn to something, or maybe you don't like something in your room. But let's see if we can just get grounded right here in the here and now. And as you begin to look around, I invite you to just get in tune with your breath for a moment here, and gently close your eyes if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, you can keep them open. But see if you can just tune into your breath for a moment. I'm going to deepen your breath to quiet the mind. First off, can you exhale all the air out of your mouth? Just exhale all the air out. Release, let go. Inhale through your nose to a count of 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale out the mouth to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale out the mouth to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, deep inhale. Fill up your lungs. And exhale, release. See if you can make the exhale deeper and longer. And continue this long, deep breathing here for a moment. And as you feel grounded in your chair, I invite you to place your hands on your heart for a moment. Just place your hands on your heart. And see if you could just tune into your heartbeat. Your loved one, your beloved, who you miss so much, with your eyes closed in your mind's eye, I invite you to take a moment and just see if you can see a picture of them in your mind's eye. A moment where they were looking at you with such love. The glow of their face. I invite you to just say their name out loud. Ella. Take a moment and observe your heart. Then just take a moment and release your hands down to your knees. Before I go into a couple of techniques and exercises, can we just warm up our neck for a moment with some neck rotations, ear to your shoulder, chin to your chest, opposite ear to your shoulder. Can you just draw some large circles within your head? Go real gentle with the movements here. We carry a lot of tension in our shoulders and neck, so just breathe in some space here. And then move in the other direction, large circles in the other way. Part of what this practice is a moving meditation that allows us to quiet the mind and get into the body, bringing a mind-body connection to help to lift the spirit. When you're ready, just come back to center. Can you move your torso a little bit around? I'm just going to bring this camera down just a little bit here. So just begin to move the torso and the body a little bit around. So we just want to create a little bit of space within the torso and the spine. So as you feel grounded within your chair, move all around within the torso. Whatever way you're doing is perfect. I just want you to bring your awareness into your body and maybe move in the other direction here. Large circles in the other way. Slowly coming back to center. Allow your heart to just kind of like go forward and then round your spine back, chin to chest. And do a couple more of those where the chest goes forward and then you round your spine back, chin to chest. a couple more of those at your own pace. And if you'd rather do something different, please do. But the intention right now is to connect to your breath and just move the spine for a moment. Good. Okay. Slowly come back to center here. So I'd like to just play a little bit right now with using what I use is sound, okay? I like to, part of what the practice is about bringing together movement, breath, and sound to kind of like take and move through whatever struggle that you might be going through. Again, this is all voluntary. If you choose like you just want to watch it, I am all good with that. The intention is to channel and move some of the struggle that lives within. The body remembers it. All we're going to do is use it as fuel and let it move through. But you also know your body better than I do. If there's any pain that you're feeling, pull back. If it's an emotional struggle, I invite you to move forward. I invite you to just take a moment and bring fists right here up towards your heart. And if just connect to whatever the anxiety, the fear, the hurt, whatever that you struggle that you're feeling right now, I just want you to hold it tight with tight fists in your hand. I want to challenge it and move it through. Take a deep inhale and then just release it down on the earth, just kind of like, oh, and let it go and use sound. All right, start to play a little bit with sound here. Inhale, just kind of release it down. Oh, good. Just do a couple more of those. Use sound. Inhale, let it go. Oh, yes. Now keep going, but this time release it with your hands as you let it go. Oh, release it with the hands as you release. That's it. Good. Do one more here. Inhale. Release, let it go. Oh, good. Shake the hands out. Shake the hands out. I invite you to bring your palms together right here in front of you. Inhale, and then shake any tension in your jaw. Just kind of. Good. I know that sounds ridiculous, but who cares? Let's do it again. Here we go. And shake your tension in your jaw. Good. All right. Shake it out through the hands. Shake it out. Shake it out. Good. Feel grounded into your chair. You know, I think that a normal thing to experience sometimes within grief, within loss, is that sense of feeling like you might be feeling stuck. I feel stuck ever since my child died. I haven't been able to laugh or cry for months. I almost feel like it's in a place of depression. Wherever it is that you're feeling stuck right now, there's a technique I invite you to do. It's called breaking the chains. Part of what I'm going to do right now is I want to tap you into a little bit of your fire and power, because I think within grief and loss, we can lose our power. So the way you do this is bring your hands and allow them to be parallel right over your chest with tight fists. I invite you to connect to where do you feel stuck? Maybe it's fear, maybe it's anxiety, someplace that you feel stuck in your life, in your mind or body. And as you hold your fists tight, I want you to still feel grounded down onto your chair and feel your feet touching the earth. And take a deep inhale. Now push both of your elbows back. And use sound, that's it, to connect to your roar. Inhale, push the elbows back. In here, inhale, push the elbows back. Again, inhale, push back. Good. Now shake it out through the hands. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Good. All right. Press. I'm going to start to move it through. Part of my work was to tap you into your power here, but we're going to channel it in just a second. I invite you with your fists right here, right beside you. I want you to connect a little bit to maybe whatever the anger, the fear, maybe it's just frustration about even what's going on with this virus, the pain that you might feel that you've lost your child, whatever that is here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you punch it out. We're going to channel this out, but first I'm going to create a little spark inside of you. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to hold the breath, and then I'm going to punch out in front of me for as long as I can go until I can't do it anymore. And then I exhale and allow the fists to come back to the heart. We're creating a little spark within. All right, here we go. And inhale, hold the breath, and punch out in front of you. Punch out any anger, any frustration, keep going until you can't do it anymore, and you exhale, and then bring the fists to the heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, hold the breath, punch out in front of you. Good. And now bring them back to the heart. Come back to your natural breath. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Now we're going to start to use that as fuel, and we're going to channel it and move it forward. I'll demonstrate. Now I'm going to inhale with one hand. I'm going to push it out and release it with the hands and let it go. And then inhale and then release it and let it go. So what we're doing right now is we're channeling fire. We can feel like we've lost our power. So I want that power to move through you. The anger, the resentment, the fear, the anxiety, we can channel it. Inhale, push one hand out in front of you. Inhale, that's it. Other hand. Move at your own pace. And start to use sound to start to move the pain through. Keep going at your own pace. Good. Use the sound. Two more. One more. Good. And then just shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. I invite you to place one hand on your heart and then one hand on your belly. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and come back to your natural breath. I invite you to tune in here. What is this anger or this fear here to teach me? Feel your heartbeat, observe your breath. And take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Release your hands down towards your knees. I think there can probably be a primal need to know why after such a loss. Why did my child have to die? Why did they have to overdose? Why him? Why her? I will tell you, I don't think there will probably ever be a satisfying answer to why, but I do think by expressing it and releasing it, it can cause suppressed pain that we might repress inside of us. The body remembers it. It can start to come up for healing. This is called releasing the why. And the way you do it is you just bring your hands up with the palms facing you, and you just say the words, why. If you would instead like to lift it up and say the words, why, you can do that. This is giving you the space to be sad. You can be angry at God. Whatever you want right here, just say the words why and see what moves through. Let's begin. Why? Again. Why? Keep going here. Why? 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 Two more. Why? Last one. Why? Good. Take a moment here and bring your hand to your heart and hand to your belly. And take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And again, a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And releasing your hands down. I think that at times we might need more strength and more courage to come to us in times when we might need it the most. This technique, it's called higher power, and it's about bringing strength and courage to us in times when we might need it the most. I invite you, if you're comfortable, you just bring your hands up over your head and then just take a moment and just bring your elbows to your ribs with a powerful like you're bringing strength and courage to you. Inhale the arms up, elbows to the ribs. We're going to do two more of those. Inhale, elbows to the ribs. Last one. Good. Now, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. If you're comfortable, close your eyes for a moment. What are the regrets that you might hold on to in your life? I should have done this. If only I would have done this, maybe my baby boy would still be alive. I should have been more loving and caring to them when they were alive. If only we would have taken them to the hospital. If only I would have seen how much struggle he was in, I could have taken him to a meeting and given him some support. What are the regrets that may weigh heavy on your heart? We're going to connect to this almost like weeds. I invite you, if you like, bring your hand in front of you as if you were grabbing that regret like it was a weed in front of you. You inhale and then just throw it up over your head and let it go. And then with the other hand, if only I would have done this, you inhale and then throw it over your head and let it go. And keep moving at your own pace. And if instead you want to focus this on somebody else, you should have done this. If only you would have done this. You can totally focus this on somebody else. If you're not aware of what the regrets are, just bring your mind and heart towards that's what you're looking to find healing with. Subconscious thoughts and feelings that are suppressed can start to come up. Just become aware of them and throw them up and over your head. If only I would have done this. You should have done this. Good. And slowly bring your hands back and lightly tap your heart for a moment. Lightly tap your heart. Little taps right here on the heart. I invite you to say, I am, and complete it however you want. I am, whatever you're experiencing or going through right now. It could be, I am angry. I am sad. I'm afraid. I am thankful. I am grateful. I am in pain. Whatever you're feeling right now, allow it to move through as you say, I am. And now bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And again, a deep inhale and a deep exhale. If you're comfortable, I invite you to bring your hands in front of you as if you were cradling a child, and just gently from side to side, rock from side to side. If you're comfortable, repeat after me. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I be content. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be content. I invite you right now to just say the words, I love you. I love you. And now place your left hand under the right armpit and allow your right hand to go to your left shoulder. And just take a moment here and breathe. Again, repeat after me if you'd like. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I be content. And slowly bring your hands down to your knees. Just take a moment and fold forward for a moment if you're comfortable. If you'd like to just kind of like bring your chin to your chest and just fold all the way down towards the earth. Maybe you feel like your hands are starting to fold all the way down. Just begin to surrender now all the way down and take a moment and breathe into your lower back. Just breathe deeply here. Observe any sensations in your lower back. Feel your feet grounded. Feel your hands touching the earth. And when you're ready, slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Take your time. Place one hand on your belly and allow the other hand to hold the heart. And as you observe your breath all the way down into your belly, feel your feet grounded. Feel your sit bones balanced on the chair or wherever you're touching the earth. Bringing both hands to the heart. Take a moment and coming full circle, I invite you to see your loved one who you said at the beginning. With your eyes closed, see them looking at you with such love. The warmth of their face. Feel their love for you as you say their name again out loud. Ella. Listen to your heart. Deep inhale. Exhale, release your hands down. Thank you I didn't know I was going to do that. I just kind of like rolled with it. I kind of like did a little mini class there for you. I thought I was just going to show you some exercises, but I was like, well, we're just going on a little journey right now. Here we go. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. If you have any questions or want to process anything, I'm here for you.
Paul, I am so grateful for that because we recorded it and we can do it over and over again. This is something that people can do every evening or every morning, and it is truly helpful. The movements that you used are different from the ones that I use in my grief yoga, and I think it's wonderful to be able to learn these new breathing techniques and releasing of unwanted energy. And no matter what we're going through, whether it is the passing of our child or just something that's been difficult during the day, it's always wonderful to be able to release it and get rid of all of that gunk that's keeping us from moving forward. So thank you for doing that. Does anyone have questions for Paul? I see that there's a lot of, we have, I loved that, so moving. It was perfect, very powerful, thank you. That was beautiful, thank you. I think my husband would really benefit from this too. This was beautiful, amazing, thank you, very powerful, thank you, so sincerely, hugs. So let's see, we also have, thank you so much, so emotional, so wonderful, thank you so much, Paul. So obviously it was helpful to our parents.
Also, I just want to say,
asking,
Elizabeth, just so you know too, on griefyoga.com, there is a specific free class that I have for parents for a child who has died that they're welcome to access on griefyoga.com.